protein sources through those. That is also they have gained the knowledge. Apart from that, it is not restricted to the any one cuisine such as like Indian or maybe the North Indian. This can be cultivated. We have been using this for a time, but it is not recognized to the various kind of industries. And apart from that, there are more packaging companies like more kind of processed foods which are like available in the market, which can be again very much available, and they can create their own cuisines in terms of this one. So we have already altogether we have almost 10 menus. I started with the very first menu is kind of gonna aqua fava chickpea stew or something, and then we started with the giving a stew, then the some kind of again a baked cauliflower. So that is how the menu has been planned. Then we start with the, some kind of a tandoori cuisines. Through that, the marination will be happening with the some vegetarians. So this is how that we have actually started. And right now in the present, this we have the Mexican tacos and all those things. They're made with the same corn tortillas using the other kinds of mock meats, such as soya mock meats. We have used it like minced keema, all those. So I have ordered for all those ingredients which has come to them. I have shown them what exactly the contents are going to be there. So they have gone through this. They have used again how to prepare a white sauce basing using again oat milk, using a oat milk, again the soya milk also, and then they have prepared this the white sauce based on that also. So they have been given almost introduction the oat milk, almond milk, soya milk. Then I've got they have practiced the mock meat, how to prepare a mock meat in front of again this one. So removing the starch, using again a hickory, marmites, all those things they have practiced. But yeah, they have not come up with a very good this one. So they need to practice more in that cases. So these are the practices they have done it, and they have altogether 3 courses menus happening all together. We have combined maybe almost 9 menus has been done to them till now. That is how we have
Great.
started with this.
Great, great. So this is fantastic. Thank you, Chef. So moving on to the next part. First of all, I want to tell all the students who are there and the participating in the webinar, more than 35 people are there, that this webinar is basically to connect the chefs, culinary institutions with the plant-based movement which is going on. We definitely feel that we have very good quality of raw materials in the country. We feel that we have the production capability. What we don't have is the machines. The machines which are needed for the high extrusion plant-based meat, as well as the high moisture meat analogs, they are very expensive. So PBFIA has kick-started the formation of various plant protein clusters, and the first one in Bhiwadi, so that we are able to bring the cost of machinery down and also bring all the supportive industries which are basically supplier and customer to each other at one place, take advantages of the logistics, and provide this amazing economic advantage uh, to the markets, not just in the metros, but also in the exports market. So we would be able to bring the efficiencies in these places, and hopefully that our market, which has grown to $400 million, which is up from about $267 million when the PBFI was formed. So going on, I would first like to invite from Fleming Red, Mr. Vinay, and then Vignesh from YV Care. Vinay?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Thanks a lot for pulling me in this session, and it's just pleasure to see this young crowd around. You start feeling young when you see younger crowd. So thanks a lot for pulling me in. So as far as Flaving Dead Production Private Limited is concerned, we started with plant-based meat as one of the innovation products. Before I talk about what we do as a company, I would like to give a background on what we are. So the founder of this company has a background in chemical engineering from IIT Bombay, and she has an expertise in food texture rheology and soft matter physics. So that has been one of the expertise which the company has. My background is predominantly material science postgraduate. I have done my material science degree in nanotechnology while I'm on a sabbatical from my PhD from Washington State University, where I'm working on extracting protein from biomass. So this is the background of the company. In terms of what we do, we are working on developing plant-based products where we use different sources of proteins to mimic the texture and taste of the animal proteins which are available for the market. Now, what we try to do is that we try to mimic this using the latest technologies available. Like you mentioned previously, we do something on the high moisture meat analogs. We try to use oleo gels. We like to use emulsifier systems and make these products as equivalent as close to the animal proteins. In the product range, we have plant-based meat where we do plant-based mutton, we have plant-based chicken, we have plant-based seafood. We have developed recently a POC, a proof of concept of plant-based pork belly. Apart from that, we have developed plant-based dairy. In the dairy, we have a range of products for the segment where we do different concentrations of the protein in the formulation and the fat as well. So if we talk today, we have a very low fat plant-based dairy product, we have a very high protein product, and all of these are for respective functionalities. So we have one range which is called as a barista range, which goes for tea, coffee, smoothies, and milkshakes. And then we have a range of flavored products, which is equivalent to what an Amul or a Milky Mist would be doing in the current dairy segment. Apart from that, we have developed, or rather we are in the stage of developing different concentrations of the protein and fat where we can make Indian sweets out of it. So the concept where Flaving Red products is actually focusing is that we want to be as versatile as the milk is there in the market. So that's the ideology of what we are trying to do with our milk product. Apart from that, we have plant-based egg, which is simple formulation, 2 ingredients, simple primary processing, and it is nutritionally par with what a chicken egg would be. The variants available are in powder and liquid form. You can make a scrambled egg, fried egg, and we are also now working on a whole boiled egg, which we showcased at the World Food India exhibition to the Honorable Prime Minister. So that is something which is work in progress, and probably in the next 2 quarters, we would be commercially launching that product as well. Apart from that, we also work on extracting proteins and other value ingredients from waste biomass. There is a plant which we are setting up in 130 kilometers down Pune, and that plant will actually extract proteins, we will extract fibers, and we will extract certain other industrial chemicals, and the rest side stream will be going for generating energy. So probably we are building up the country's first upcycling plant in the plant-based segment. And thanks to Sethi sir, this has been a really interesting session for us. We at Flaving Red would like to collaborate with culinary experts like Mahi and the other hotel catering institutes, and we look forward to such kind of collaborations. We have been growing because of collaborations predominantly. Thank you, sir. That's from my side. Any questions? I would be more than happy to answer.
Thank you. Thank you, Vinay. Vignesh from YV Care.
Sethi sir, thank you. If it's possible, मेरे ख्याल से डॉक्टर रेजिना को पहले बात करने दीजिए. I will speak later, sir. Please.
You wanted to leave early, right?
No, I am here. I'm here. Thank you.
Okay. Regina. You're on mute, Regina. Regina, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Vignesh, for the support. I was the one who wanted to leave early because I have another talk at ITC one, actually, again, promoting the same healthy eating based on evidence-based nutrition or plant-based diet. I'm actually really excited to see the kind of different education segment coming into the picture in this moment. I'm always been dealing with medical students and doctors. It's great that culinary field is also coming into this. So introduction, I'm Dr. Regina Shahin, currently working as a medical director for Physicians Association for Nutrition, India. What we do is we are actually educating doctors and healthcare professionals and medical students about evidence-based nutrition, primarily focusing on plant-based diet. Why plant-based diet? So everybody talks about sustainability when it comes to plant-based diet, but people do not understand it has much higher implications when it comes to human health or individual health. Basically, over the last 60, 70 years of research have shown that a diet which is predominantly plant-based, more vegetables, fruits, more legumes, more whole grains, and a predominantly plant-based diet is definitely helping people to stay healthy, prevent chronic diseases, and also helping people to basically stay away from other diseases like cancer and stuff. So it's not only that, it is also helping people to better better themselves in respect to their optimizing health or productivity or other factors actually. So it is not just about sustainability. It's not just about introducing another dietary pattern or food pattern into the system. It's about, each one of us being responsible for our own, colleagues or friends or other human beings. Not only that, when it comes to the sustainability aspect, we are also becoming more and more responsible for our planet, our biodiversity, our fellow creatures. So it's not just about introducing another food system. It's about becoming responsible, more purpose-driven in our lives, actually. So take it in that sense, younger culinary experts. So that is what the message I wanted to pass. So what we were doing is initially we started with educating doctors about plant-based diet, how we can guide patients about plant-based diet and stuff. And there were a lot of feedback we got from the doctors that, like even if you're telling them they go to a restaurant, they go to some other places and they eat whatever is available. And most of the restaurants and hotels, they do not provide plant-based diet. So one of the experience I'll tell you, I went to Delhi, one of these events with Sanjay Sethi, and one of the hotels I was staying, I selected the hotel because it was written like veganuary. So they have a lot of dishes with respect to vegan stuff. But when I went there, I sat in the, dining hall. I understood that they don't have anything vegan. So it was just only for the name steak. It was there actually. So actually, then we started introducing from March first week, we started introducing something called chef training, which is incorporated into the CME, Continuous Medical Education Program, where one of our cardiologists, who is an advisor and ambassador for Pan India, along with few other nutritionists, is actually leading this program. Now we are coming to Ahmedabad, which is on 28th. There also we have arranged a culinary session, a chef training on plant-based nutrition. And then Mumbai, we have another one, which is coming on 26th of May. Again, we'll have a culinary session, which is having, I think around 15 chefs that already registered. So what I'm going to say is actually, it's not about Sanjay Sethi, it's not about me, or it's not about Vignesh. It's the collective movement of all of us coming together to create a better world is what matters, what is to be done. So let's not take it as just some kind of a dietary thing. It is much more than that, much more. We are going to create a better world by investing time, effort into bringing a good food system, which is good for the people and the planet. That's a message I wanted to communicate. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Regina. What a wonderful work PAN is doing and Veganuary is doing. So moving on now, Pareen Sachdeva.
Hello,
Is she
everyone.
there,
Am I
sir?
audible? Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, Pareen, very much.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, first of all, for having me be a part of this very productive and exciting conversation. And it is amazing to see so many students who are interested in this and being taught with this very field. So a little bit about myself. I am a teacher, but I'm also a climate educator. So I've been trained by the former Vice President Al Gore as a climate reality leader. And I also serve as the India lead for another American nonprofit called Climate Healers, where essentially we focus on educating students such as yourself on how our diets are impacting climate. And it has been shown through research by our organization as well as other reputable organizations and institutions such as Oxford that a global shift towards a plant-based or vegan diet is not only one of the top tier solutions towards curbing climate change, but is also one of the most cost-effective solutions. And India, I would say, has a great advantage in leading the world towards a transition towards plant-based eating for several reasons. One of them is that uh, our diets are primarily plant-based. So most of what we eat at home, dal, rice, chapati, vegetables, are snacking foods such as, samosa, chaat, bel puri, pani puri. A lot of our foods are primarily plant-based. The second reason is that a lot of our agrarian economy, so our economy is primarily agrarian, and a lot of what we produce is primarily plant-based. What we need are solutions such as the one that PBFI has also introduced, the plant-based food clusters. What we need is to educate our producers to enable them to process this plant-based produce into products that can actually be used and sold to consumers, as well as to culinary institutions who can innovate with said products. So something that I want you all to understand is that a plant-based diet is not this unicorn that you have never seen or never heard of. It is something that is a part of our very way of eating. And veganism as a corollary is something that, so in a plant-based diet, you are consuming foods which are primarily from plants, so nothing that comes from an animal. Veganism is a little broader in that you do not use anything that comes from an animal, not just for your diet, but also for what you wear, what you do, and you do this uh, in as much as is practically possible. Okay, so you will not put, say, your life on the line. For example, if you need some medication, or there are products, say for example your car, if it is using something that is something that is tested, or a product that is fitted in your car that may have something to do with an animal, that is something that's out of your uh, control. So in as much as is possible and practical, you want to move towards a lifestyle that is more vegan and more plant-based. And I want to conclude by saying that every little step you take matters. As you may have heard, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So whatever little steps we can make, let us continue to do that. Instead of trying to aim for 100% or perfection, try to do what you can and keep learning in the process. This is something that I also learned through my own seasonal plant-based bakery, which has been operating for about 3 years now. So we specialize in cookies, and we supply these cookies throughout the winter months. And if you're interested in learning, I'll be happy to talk about it at a later date. And I wish you all the best. And thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so can I now request Vignesh? Vignesh from
Yes.
YVCare? Yeah, please come in.
Thank you very much, Sanjay Sethi ji. Hi, everybody. Can't call you all kids. You all are all young adults. So I'm very happy to see all of you all. Very happy because this helps the good cause. My name is Vignesh, and I work for Why We Care. Y alphabet, V alphabet, and care word. Why do we care? So you have heard the nutritional aspect. People have spoken about it. You have heard Dr. Regina talk about the health aspect. You heard Pareen talk about the environmental aspect. I would like to bring in the ethical aspect. Ethical aspect is naitikta. What is right? What is proper? So while plant-based food is amazing for our health and it is good for the environment, it is even better for me, for the animals. All of you all experience pain. All of you all are quite discomforted sitting there, right? अब ये घंटे से बैठे हैं. God knows how much more you have to sit. It's troublesome, right? Sitting in that same spot. The animals which are abused are tied in the same spot all their life, from birth till death. Example, a dairy cow in the tabela. She does everything in the same spot. वहीं पे delivery, वहीं पे eating, वहीं पे her potty susu, everything. That's torture. That's abuse. We are compassionate human beings. We need to be aware of all those aspects. We just cannot close our eyes and say, I love eating, so I don't care. We can't say that because we are humans. We are smart. We are aware. We are compassionate beings. To care for each other is what makes us human. So I want to bring in the ethical aspect and say, please focus on plant-based. Focus on veganism. The definition of veganism is, if for your living, you do not have to kill or abuse an animal, please don't. I have been plant-based for 10 plus years. I'm amazingly healthy. Healthy, strong. I go to the gym, I do 100 kg weight lifts, everything. So you get all your nutrition, you get all your good stuff from plants. I don't need to abuse and torture an animal for my pleasure. That is not okay. The way any one of you, if ever tortured or abused, will trouble me, it troubles me to see an animal tortured. So that's the ethical aspect. You want to learn more about the ethical, the animal rights, the animal stuff, ask me, I am here. Or do not forget our page, Why We Care. Okay, I won't take much time. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sanjay ji.
Okay, so requesting Shilpa Gupta to come in now, please. I think Shilpa is not there. Chef Abhay.
Hi, everyone. So it was very nice to see everybody introducing themselves. And it's lovely to see Chef Thiru, Vaksha, and other chefs from the Institute leading the change in plant-based foods industry. And so I will introduce myself very quickly. So I am Abhay, and I am a professional chef as well. I am a graduate of the IHM Pusa, which is located in Delhi. And so I have been mostly abroad from India. I returned because of COVID, and ever since that, I have become a vegan myself. And looking at the situation that India is witnessing, as well as the world over that I am witnessing, that plant-based foods is really catching up big time elsewhere. And when I came back to India, I saw that there was the absence of plant-based and vegan options. Mostly wherever I went, and I was looking for opportunities also, like you will be soon after you graduate from here. There was no takers for the plant-based and vegan trained people, or maybe the industry does not need them because there was no demand as such. So that was my motivation, or you can say an inspiration, that I went into vegan and plant-based foods as a company. So we founded Vishud Foods. So I'm the founder of Vishud Foods, and along with that, we also are committed to spreading more awareness regarding the same in the plant-based foods movement across India. So I really am thankful for Mr. Sanjay Sethi that we are collaborating in this field as well. And along with that, we have also recently seen that tasting sessions being held in different institutes, such as the Supreme Court, with other NGOs and non-profitable organizations such as Samayu. recently that happened. So we've just signed the MOU also with them. And along with that, we are pioneering in spreading awareness over the world over with World Vegan Vision. So I'm the assistant vice president in that as well, the Delhi chapter. And so why I am here is, I was mostly uh, um, in the plant-based foods as I see the month of Navratri. So I would like to focus mostly on the religious and the spiritual aspect of where the food is taking us. So all of this culinary innovation is at one side, but when we come to things like Navratri and other festivals, this is where we see major intervention of non-vegetarian and dairy products that are happening culturally across the world, and a lot of documentaries also have been made that why we should avoid all that, and the prime purpose of religion and spiritual evolution is not to consume animal products in the first place. So myself being a chef professionally, I truly understand the situation that the industry is in right now, and it is a personal effort, and I would like to urge all the industry members also that you need to take a stand and urge the government agencies also and policymakers also that okay, we need a collaborative effort from all angles, and we need to focus on where we are going wrong and why there is no action, or maybe there's no effort in India as such that I'm focusing on right now. So I am basically my requirement is mostly in the culinary aspect. So how we can focus on innovation during the month of Navratri. I would like to urge all the plant-based industry association team members also, as well as all the partners also, that we can organize such events for all the religious activities, not only just Navratri. We can focus on Diwali, Holi, because all of these products that are introduced in the market in India, they are mostly dairy. So right now, I would say we can focus mostly on dairy, because that is where the prime concern for the meat production really lies, and the root cause is dairy. That is what I see as a chef. And even the bakery, even the the meat industry, all of them, the root cause is dairy. And so in that aspect, in Navratri, that we refrain from consuming meat products as well as high protein stuff like legumes. So things like sabudana, things like rajgira. We can we can name a lot of nuts and seeds that we can consume during the season of Navratri, and also we can have many dairy alternatives that we can focus on. The most important one will be the ones derived from nuts, and something like cashew nuts. We can have oats, we have almonds, we have the new entry in the market is the hemp that we don't see in India, but elsewhere abroad we will see hemp milk as well. And something like peas, where peas also is used to make milk nowadays, and so a lot of basically Navratri, in my opinion, is a period of rejuvenation and a restart. So where I see the international community in the food industry, why don't we restart the whole food system? So that is where I think we need to focus more on. And a restart is in we give up dairy, we give up meats, and we jump into plant-based. Primarily, as Pareen also mentioned, that we are mostly plant-based. But culinary innovation will be even moving beyond plant-based. I would say using techniques, international techniques, cooking techniques like sous vide. We can have fusion. We can have other methods of cooking, molecular gastronomy. We can have fermentation. A lot of innovative techniques that are in the market that we can use for our own cuisine as such. So in the month of Navratri, I would like to congratulate everybody that we will see that more such events happening, and an industry integration away from dairy and into plant-based. Actually, I'm so thrilled to see all the students also sitting there very nicely, and listening to what is going on in the industry, where I am associated with my own institute, in IHM Pusa, that I was in touch with the National Council of Hotel Management team also, and where I've been recommending and suggesting to them that this course needs to be brought in, because the syllabus and the curriculum that we've been taught is very old now. I think it's decades old, perhaps 50, 60, more than that. And all the curriculum textbooks that have been written and compiled, they're now old standards now. So I think new technology, new techniques need to be introduced, and when I see the industry not being able to come up to the level that we actually require, that is where I will urge everybody to introduce themselves and even assert themselves that we need change, because industry, I was expecting that the National Council will take the lead in driving change, but I'm seeing WGSHA driving the change. This is very good to see. All right, so I'll just not take much of your time, and yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Sethi.
Thank you, Abhay. In fact, before I call Anju Kalan, I would also request Rajiv Yadav from AgroCorp. Okay, so Rajiv is not ready, it seems. So Anju.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, Anju.
Navratri to everyone, as the theme is Navratri, and Navratri says Shubharam. And Navratri is a very important festival which gives us some kind of power to go plant-based, because people who are just sitting at the edge of animal and plant-based, and whether to switch and not to switch, and they are so fond of animal, this gives a very, very powerful tool to turn plant-based for 9 days. And I think Sanjay ji has taken a very, very good initiative, because this is the powerful days where you can motivate people to go plant-based, where the power from within in the people comes that they want to try it out for these 9 days. So that is one which I wanted to talk about. And the term plant-based that we use, I mean, especially for the students, which I see they are in quite a number. So the term plant-based was coined by Dr. Colin Campbell, Colin Campbell. He is the greatest nutritionist of the world right now. He is in US, and he has written a lot of books, and I would really like the students to just or the library to get the books, which is a China study, which is a very, very good book from him, which is a Bible of the plant-based food. So if we are asking students to go plant-based, the why is very, very important. Why we are asking the students to go plant-based, why we are asking them to try their hand in making plant-based and not animal food. Much has been said by a lot of people and speakers before me, and just two very important things which I would like to talk about is, one, it is about 20,000 million years before our ancestors were monkeys, they were all plant-based eaters. They were not animal eaters. They were not drinking even the milk of the cow. It only started maybe 1% of evolutionary period that we turned into animal, and we turned into the industrialization started happening. We turned into the animal and the dairy industry. And here only, the problems of the chronic ailments also started when people started going towards that way and started following paleo diet and other kind of diets. So the reason I'm quoting here is, one, there is a lot of myth which students need to very, very clear about. The two important questions come up when you go plant-based, as where will you get your proteins from? Where will you get your calcium from? So these two things which we need to very, very quickly clear up, and is that the calcium is not from milk at all. It is a myth that the calcium is from milk, the cow's milk or any kind of milk. We see there have been studies like in Africa, which is the lowest milk consumption country. That's the lowest rate of osteoporosis in that country. And the country which are majorly milk producing countries like Switzerland and all, there are the major hip fractures in those countries. So milk should not be and cannot be associated with calcium, where kids also keep on thinking as to if they are stopping because their parents and our parents also have this thing trained in our mind that milk is calcium and calcium is milk. So it is not the case, which has to be, the students have to be really very well educated on that. And then number two is the protein. When people say that my kids are playing outside and we want more energy and we want more strength to play, you do not require animal protein at all. There is protein in every plant-based product. Any plant-based food available, nature has given protein in that. Our protein requirement should not be more than 8% of our total caloric requirement, which is a myth, which is a lot of myth has been propagated because of the plant-based animal product companies, that you require more meat and you require more animal and milk because of and that is what is giving rise to a lot of chronic ailments. So you have to be away from these two things, the animal and milk. You don't need that. Everything is available in plenty in the plant-based. And read that book. There are a lot of books. There are a lot of coaches which advise why go plant-based. I don't have enough time for that. But yes, a little bit introduction about myself. I have healed my body. I was a blood pressure patient for last 30 years. And that is what the passion comes from. The minute I stopped milk, the minute I stopped eggs, I healed myself, and last 2 years almost I'm off medication. So that is what drives me and my passion. And this by Anju is into snacking. We make a lot of snacks available like granolas and all, and some of our granolas and laddus and even cookies are without any inch of oil or any inch of ghee or butter into it. And the fresh food also we make salads, we make a lot of things, we make even dal makhani, and we make some custards without any kind of milk and any kind of even the kulfis and ice creams are we make and we sell. So these kind of things that we do when we try to communicate. So for me, it's more of a food talk always. Whenever you are giving a food and whenever you are talking about plant-based, the talk is very important. The whys is really, really very important to drill into your mind that is poison and should not be touched at all. Thank you so much for the time. That's all from my.
So, thank you, Anju. I want to know, anybody from Soup Hub or Wesley is here?
Hi, Sanjay. I'm here. I'm sorry, I was driving, so for a moment I had gone off. I'm back now.
Hi, Ranjit. Hi.
Hi.
So nice seeing you, Ranjit. Why so many people are in yellow today? Is there some color coordination? आप सब लोग ने आपस में बात किया है क्या कुछ?
I don't know. I mean, it's not the color of the
Okay, go
plants,
ahead.
but it's probably the color of the sun.
Okay,
We help the
great.
plants.
Great, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Sanjay ji, for having me here. And it's very exciting what the plant world is doing. We've heard so many things. It is in fact a plant-based revolution. It is, like I said, a green revolution 2.0, which is underway. What Superb is doing, it's very simple. We've heard Anju ji just mentioned that she cured herself of many things. With Superb, our plan is that, as the name suggests, soup and herb, basically herbal soups. So we are just trying to prove what the Greeks had said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. That's what the Greeks learned when they came to India, when they learned about Ayurveda and Charaka and all these things. So once all of you, this entire PBFIA led initiative will convert a lot of people into vegetarianism and veganism. Uh, we guys will be the people who will just add the medicinal plants to it. So while everybody is on a anti meat campaign, where we are like thinking about from the ethical point of view, sustainability point of view, from our health, everything point of view, then there's something which has to be scientifically proven, that with scientific evidence and proof that that like food can also be your medicine. Food is actually medicine. So what we are trying to do is we have already applied for 13 patents and 17 trademarks. And we have some fantastic people who've been helping us out for the last 2.5 years. We have some recipes. We got our trial session with IHM Mumbai, Indian Hospitality School. So they gave us 9 out of 10 for practically all the soups on taste, texture. So yeah, so we're just trying to prove that food is medicine, and we are using 63 medicinal plants. We're trying to grow 53 of these medicinal plants in Uttarakhand with the help of 1,000 women. They have offered more than 1,000 acres of land in 3 agroclimatic zones, as high as 14,000 feet. So you can imagine. So some of the herbs which are growing, which are when there's snowfall, so these herbs are like covered under the snow, and only when it's spring and when it's summer, that's when these herbs actually come out. So we're using these kind of plants and making like these tinctures or these decoctions. You may call it herbal alchemy, which is the chemistry of herbs. And we will next be taking to the metallurgical, the alchemy, where we know in Ayurveda we talk about the 7 dhatus, the metals like gold, silver, pearl, iron. We're using all these utensils. We all have seen in our homes and everything that the kind of utensils that we cook. We use brass, we use copper, we use tamba. So we will be combining, the herbal alchemy with the metal alchemy and bringing it together in the form of soups. Why we want to do soups is because it is easy to cook, easy to consume, and for lazy people who don't want to chew, it becomes an easy meal for them too. And like Anjuji said, I tried it on myself first. So you're talking to a guy who has been to hell and come back. So now, and what took me to hell was my unhealthy diet, was my bad lifestyle habits. I'm a father of 3. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I work for the government. I mean, for the government as a construction company, and life can't be worse. And what it starts from. So if you really want to, what we're trying to do is that somebody needs a lifeline. In Kaun Banega Crorepati, he gives you one lifeline. So that first lifeline should always be your eating and your food habits. Your exercise routine, your meditation, and your everything comes later. What you put in the stomach is the most important thing that you can do. Your body is a temple. The masjid, the mandir, the church, the gurudwara is nowhere, but it is this body. And what you put inside is how you pray to that Almighty. So we together, all of us over here, we have to promote plant-based food. We have to get better at what we do. You know, everything should be plant-based. I think everything plant-based should be medicinal. We should not go to hospitals. We should not fall ill. Whatever bad has happened in the last 5, 7, 8, 10 decades. People are suffering today. Diabetes capital of the world, cancer villages, and all these kind of things. We do not want this to continue. The world has to be a better place for the future generations, and plant-based is the only way to move forward. Congratulations to all of you who are part of this meeting. Congratulations to Sanjay ji. Congratulations to all the entrepreneurs and all the companies who've got together over here. And let's prove the Greeks right, which will in turn prove the Indians, our ancient, our ancestors, right, that let food be thy medicine and medicine will be thy food, and plant-based food will prove that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ranjit. I'm sure you will list on New York Stock Exchange and probably one of the first ones to be a unicorn. And we will celebrate
Uh,
that. So,
Everybody should be a witness to this. If this becomes true, then I will offer 5% sweat equity to Sanjay ji and plant-based PBFIA from my side. If this becomes true.
no, you come on our summit on 21st May at Lee Meridian, New Delhi. That is
We're
more
launching the
important.
logo then. We're launching the logo
Yes.
on that day.
Yes. Come over. Come over. Okay. Now,
Thank you.
before I call Mihir from India Animal Fund, can I request Prerna Bajaj from Wesley? Prerna is a founder member of Plant Based Foods Industry Association. Wesley is one of the premier organization of the Plant Based Foods Industry Association. Is Prerna here? Okay, Prerna is not there. So can I request Mihir Dawar from India Animal Fund, a young speaker and absolutely firebrand. Mihir, floor is yours.
Hi, everybody. I'm very glad to be here. Uh, I don't think I need to introduce myself any further. I'm just a research and policy associate at India Animal Fund. And I've been working in the alternative protein sector for the past couple of months. I've been involved in animal protection for almost the past 4 years. And I just wanted to highlight how important culinary innovation is when we're trying to transform food systems, because consumer research consistently indicates that taste is the number one definitive factor in transitioning people to a plant-based diet. And as we know, all flavors, everything comes from plants. Everything can be deconstructed, all molecules. Gastronomy is down to using flavors from plants itself. So just wanted to reinforce how important your role is in making sure that any products that come out, they are more palatable to the consumers, and don't want to discount your role, especially, I mean, with a lot of policy work, a lot of research work that is happening about around food systems transformation, and how, food systems transformation is warranted, and plant-based diets are the solution to reduce land use, to reduce water use, to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Don't want to discount how food is a love language for humans. Food is rooted in emotion, it's rooted in our cultural identities, and don't want to discount that. And you have a big role to play in that, just transforming the way we look at food, transforming the way we look at plant-based food itself. So just want to say that, I mean, everybody has a set perception of what food is supposed to be like. We're here to change that perception. 77% of agricultural land is used for animal sourced foods, and it only provides for 18% of all calories and 37% of global protein supply. We're here to change that. We're here to disrupt existing systems, make them more sustainable, and in the process, we don't want to make them less palatable. So that's where you come in. So just wanted to raise that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mihir. Thank you very much. So, is there any of the speakers whom I have not yet invited? Anybody from WGSHA would like to summarize what you heard us? Anybody else who want to speak? I know Shilpa doesn't want to speak. Shilpa, you want to introduce yourself? Shilpa is on hold. Okay. Who else is available? From WGSHA, anybody would like to sort of summarize what you heard from us?
They have some few questions, sir. I think the
Okay,
students,
please.
some of the
Who has
questions.
who has got the first question?
Uh, uh,
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Sarvajit Punjabi from WGSHA. Sir, my only question was, you were discussing that it's ethically wrong to consume, harm, and abuse the animals. How is it not the case with plants? Because we are consuming them also, right?
We get this question quite a lot, and this is not the first time that plants also have life, right? So as I said, plant-based movement is standing on three legs. One leg, which was being explained by Chef Abhay and YV Care Vignesh, which comes from the compassion, right? That animals have life. The second leg, which was being explained by people like Ranjit from Subhab or Anju Kalhan, they are talking about the health, right? The amazing power of plants in terms of health, right? And third leg is which is about sustainability. And you have been seeing that there are a lot of people who talk about health as well as sustainability. People like Pan, they speak about uh, um, health. People like Pareen, they talk more about the compassion. So you have the third leg, which is sustainability, where we say that if you consume 9 kilogram of uh, food, then the same 9 kilogram of food which comes from plants, if you route it through the animals, you get only 1 kilogram, because animals will eat 9 kilogram and give you 1 kilogram. So it's unsustainable, especially in a resource deficient country like India, where we don't have enough water, we don't want to further poison our lands with more fertilizer. So there is a huge fodder crisis which is going on in India. And if we continue to make our animals as high yielding animals, you will need more food, more feed for them. So gone are the days that animal used to eat a different food than what we are eating now. Um, um, because now the animals also eat almost the same food that humans eat. Because if they have to, uh, give a yield of 20 liters, 25 liters, 30 liters, or even 40 liters per day, then they cannot have so much of food. They have to same small amount of food, but it has to be concentrated. Concentrated means high protein, high fat. Then that will come from almost the same food that we eat, whether it is soybean or other things like cottonseed or de-oiled cottonseed, things like that. So it is very difficult that we will be able to grow more and more plants and grow more and more feed. So that's why we say switch to the plant-based foods and do not eat the animal-based food. When it comes to the plant itself will have a life. If we will start considering that, then what will we eat? We will die, all of us, right? We have to
Sanjay
eat something. At least we can keep growing the plants again and again, right? So that's the logic which we apply. And Mihir, you want to say something here?
Sir,
Absolutely, Sanjay.
I
So
would
purely from a
can I go ahead? So
absolutely, yeah.
let me just quickly give this in 3 points. Okay. Ek to hai, all of you all are chefs. You all have gone in the kitchen. You all have sat there and you all have cut vegetables. Does it bother you? Do our senses say no? Our senses are okay. Now, see place, cut a chicken, live chicken, cut a mutton, cut a goat, cut a pig. What does the senses say? Does it give you pleasure playing with that blood and whatever?
Got the point. Got the point. So, sorry. Yes. Vignesh, we got the point. A lot of hands have gone up. We got your point. Compassion. So,
I have
Mihir.
So the second, animals do not have a nervous system. Plants do not have a nervous system. So ethically, when you trouble an animal, it feels pain. An animal runs away, wants to run away, save itself.
So point is taken, Vignesh, point taken. Now let Mihir come. So compassion is the point that Vignesh is saying. Okay, let's see what Mihir says.
That's actually a very good question, and a lot of people have that. But I'm just gonna talk about numbers now, only from a numbers point of view. Okay, about 92.2 billion land animals are killed every year for slaughter, so that we can consume dairy, so that we can consume pork, so that we can consume chicken, and that is not including fish. If you actually include fish, about 2 trillion animals are killed every year. And that's not including wild caught fish, by the way. Just in India, 105 billion fishes are killed every year.
So
Now,
got your point. Mihir, briefly, we got your point. You're talking about sustainability. Let's see what Chef Abhay is to say.
Sir, my only point is regarding this question. It is, specifically to the student's question that why animals have life and plants also have life. So I would, I was going through a research. I would like to share it later, and you can maybe download it from the internet. It's available publicly. So the plants, they don't have the sensory receptors. Some of them, they might be appearing to be
Okay.
having.
This point is already spoken. This point. Chef, it's already spoken. You are talking about compassion. I hear that. Let us hear others also. I think Mr. Jan wants to say something, and I also see Anju wants to say something. Let others also speak. Mr. Jan,
hi. I would
and
like
Anju.
to first, introduce myself. So my name is Lokesh Jain. So I am animal rights activist. So we work out for them in Delhi. So yeah, I would just this is the question we get a lot. So first of all, when we differentiate, so plants and animals, they all are living beings. So when we say that plants and animals are like they are also living, so why should we not eat them? So it's essentially we are saying that a plant and a human does not have any difference because we are also animals. So the first difference is sentience. When we say sentience is not just a physical pain, it's also the ability to think, ability to have pleasure.
So you are also taking the same. That's fine. You have also taken the same compassion angle, and of course, being a Jain, you should do that. And I want to now ask Anju.
Yes, so a lot of points have been answered already. The one point which I would like to talk about is that the animals and the man and the human being, they have similar systems. So similar digestion system, similar hormones, and when a hormone from a cow's milk enters our body, like a thyroid hormone or a hormone of arthritis or something enters our body hormones become very inflamed, because for them it is a threat that a new hormone in their body has entered. So they want to kill that, and the inflammation in the body goes up, the cholesterol in the body goes up to heal that inflammation, which ultimately harms the human body. So this one important point which I wanted to tell the students, that anything.
Okay, thank you. Fine. So now Ranjit.
Yeah, okay. I'll just sum it up. Number one, you must have heard of the saying, you are what you eat. And all the students, you must have heard this before. So to sum it up all, I'm not talking about compassion, and number two, plants don't bleed. Number three, in Ayurveda, right, we talk about eating animals. Remember that human system and our diet does involve animal meat, but it is for a specific purpose. Everything is available on Google today. You can study it. What is important is when we are eating food, we eat food as a fuel for our body and for proper functioning. to lead a sustainable life. Earlier in the days, when a person used to go into battle, that is the time when they were used to serve meat. When a person was injured and you need quick recovery, so everything was food was designed in a way that we have a sattvic diet, we have a tamasic diet, and we have a rajasic diet. Now, if you and that is why it equates to you are what you eat. If you people who were belonging to the warrior class, people who wanted to go fight, people who were having some ailments and they cannot recover very easily, they were given. Sometimes they were even offered blood. Blood of a lamb was used for as a decoction, and no, gladiators were never vegetarians. I think we should not go there. This is becoming to change the subject historically. Maybe the ones in the prisons who were not given food, they were. But if you will, like I said, you are what you eat. You have complete right and choice. We are here to promote what is good for the climate, what is good for sustainability, what is good for the ecosystem, what is good for human health. Now,
Okay,
if
got
your
the point.
doctor or your
Ranjit, got the point, Ranjit.
Yeah, sure.
I got the
Thank you.
gist of it, that you're talking about sattvic food. Requesting Narhari to please, from your recording, delete that part where Ranjit was saying Ayurveda, blood, and animal food. So that part you please delete, because that is not going forward. The rest, everything is going forward. Okay, we are good. Good. Okay, Ranjit. Ayurveda teaches us blood and animal. That's deleted.
No,
Okay. So,
we can delete that.
okay. See, what is the question that Maha is asking? Anthuvan, one question and 20 answers. 20 people want to answer this. What a question that you brought. So now, next question from Maha.
Yeah.
Yes, you are on the mute.
Good afternoon, sir. So we are innovating in this plant-based area so much, but at the end of the day, will it make financial sense to anyone who's running a business, because this thing costs a lot for procurement, and won't the consumer base be limited to tier 1 and tier 2 cities? And thing is that, like, if I want a chicken biryani, I want a chicken biryani. I won't settle for anything less, even if I'm willing to pay. And I guess this is same with a lot of Indian consumers.
So your name is? Your name? Once again, I didn't hear your name. Can you tell me your name, please? I think my voice is not reaching.
He is Sankalp, sir. Sankalp.
Sankalp.
Good evening,
Sankalp,
sir.
when we were, yes, Sankalp, when we look at India's map from northeast right up to south, the entire east is almost all non-vegetarian. Okay, so when people were saying you are starting from Manipal, there are a lot of students, most of them would be non-vegetarians. So they would obviously look for their non-veg food. So you should have started from northwest like Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, or Gujarat, where a lot of people, more people are vegetarians here. So, so this is a challenge for PBFIA to provide chicken meat to people who want chicken meat, but which is made from plants and not from animals, right? So that means we have to mimic the taste. Moment we try to exactly mimic the taste, we become over processed. So we are fighting two battles at the same time. While people like Anju will advocate that you should have whole foods, natural, healthy foods, right? Whereas people like you would say that I want my chicken food, which is exactly tasting like chicken. And how do we mimic and bring the two things at the same way, in such a way that the food is still healthy, sumptuous, tasty, wholesome, and absolutely healthy. So such kind of challenges can be solved uh, through the food technologists and the culinary professionals like yourself. the chefs like you who would make the food tasty and as well as healthy. And that's a challenge we have taken. And then the tier one and tier two. Of course, if these are plant-based foods, this should be cheaper, right? Because the logic is that through animal, it's a very inefficient system. But because it's a new industry which is coming up, we have to pay a lot of money to the distribution channel. We have to pay a lot of money to the equipment providers, because there are some equipment providers in Europe and America or some of the developed countries who have invented those equipment, and they're not bringing the prices down. So we are fighting the battle at various fronts. That's why so many clusters, so that all the processing comes at one place and we are able to negotiate. So who am I? I'm representing the industry, 150 members of PBFIA. So unless the members become and they renew their membership, provide their support to us, we will not be able to successfully negotiate. So once the prices will come down on the technology side, we will have the economies of scale. We will have such professionals like yourself who would have, become more adept at making the plant-based foods in an excellent way. The technology is already there. But to now deliver it to the consumer who is in tier two city and in the villages is something which is very, very challenging. But we are getting there. Yesterday, we had a tasting session on 10th in Vedatya. 9 companies participated. Greenest, butter chicken was very good, which was made from plants, of course. And their other products were also very good. White Cup was there, and Ceasefire were there, and Planet Mushroom was there. So many other companies like Gyani and Wesley. So all these companies, Tempeh came out with such amazing tempeh products, and so many other companies were there. So once we gave it to the students, the chefs in the second year and third year, and they worked with those ingredients, and they make some amazing dishes, uh, and we were amazed that so much can be done with this. So I would say दिल्ली दूर नहीं है. We are absolutely, we can see our destination and it's in our grasp. Market has been growing from $267 million. It has already grown to $400 million. Every year it is growing 15%, 20%, 25%. But unfortunately, it is only growing at 15%, 20%, or 25%, whereas it should have been growing by 100% or 1000%, because our size is very small. Dairy industry is very big, $80 billion. Meat is $20 billion. What are we? Not even $1 billion. So it's very, very small. At such a small level, the industry should have been exploding, but we are only growing incrementally and not exponentially. So that's why we are here to talk to you. And I'm sure you will become an excellent chef and you will continue to take interest in providing amazing plant-based dishes to your customers when you will be working in one of the top hotels in the country or abroad. Thank you. Next question. Antoine, next question.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
My
afternoon.
name is Yolanda. In 2023, the Global Hunger Index ranked India at 111 out of 125 countries. Do our plant-based cooking or veganism help us there in any way? Because a major of our masses live in rural areas or remote areas. Is there any scope for it?
I think this is the best question of the day. Thank you for asking this question. It's very close
Thank
to
you,
my
sir.
heart also. One of the reasons why we are ranked low in hunger is not because we don't have food. Our granaries are full, absolutely full. We are giving food to others. Why we are having the label, or I would say the allegation of food insecurity? It is not that we are not having food. We have food, but we have the economic insecurity of the food. That means people don't have money to buy the food that they want to buy. So, and even if they have the money, they prefer to have something else or maybe spend on their 4G or something, but not buy something which is good for their health, um, because of various reasons. So one, we have to make the food available, which is already there. It's not that people don't have the. Second, we have to make them want to eat this, right? I remember my driver, I used to be in Africa. He used to stop over, buy a Coca-Cola and not drink something else which is tasty, because he was looking for some instant energy, right? So sometimes people are looking for carbohydrates and fats more than the proteins. So it's the protein insecurity which is really causing problem in a country like India, and by making the food more expensive, the problem will become even more and more difficult. It's not that the food is expensive. Food is not expensive in India. Food is perhaps the cheapest in India, almost the entire world. So so we are when we import edible oils, we don't charge too much of import duty so that people are able to afford it. So food is not expensive. It's people who either do not have the enough money to buy the proteins that they want to buy, or they are not wanting to buy those products. So that's where the chefs come in, when you will make your food very, very tasty. So what is the option that you have as vegetarian, and what is the option that you have as non-vegetarian? So especially in North India, a lot of work was done on non-vegetarian food, and as a result, the entire Mughlai dishes and all, the entire work was done on non-veg items, and vegetarians didn't have so much items. When you will have those items, you will be able to consume those. So you have a situation where you have tasty meats, but we don't have enough animals to be eaten. So that means we have to go plant-based, right? How much fodder you can grow? We cannot grow so much fodder. So we have to make sure that we keep the population as vegetarian, then only the food will remain cheap. Otherwise, if you will give the option to poor people to eat their chicken uh, at the price where they can afford, they will start eating every day. Will you have so much of chicken to give it to them? Mir is saying the figure has gone up from 80 billion to 92 billion already. How many more animals you will slaughter to feed people? Will you take it to 800 billion? Somewhere you will feel that it is unsustainable. And that time has already passed. It was yesterday. So maybe
Also,
in the olden.
it's so unsustainable that even if the entire world reaches Western levels of meat consumption, we would require all of the world's habitable land to produce meat, and we would still fall 38% short. So just highlighting Sanjayji's point on the unsustainability of meat production.
So you have to work on three parts. One, you have to build the market. You have to build the market where people want to buy the foods which are healthy. If you go in any supermarket, just stand near the till where the people are coming out and look at their trolleys, what they're buying. They're buying carbs, they're buying fat. Nobody's buying protein. So that's where you will see what people don't want to buy. What can you do? Your breakfast cereals, your noodles and all that, there's no protein. Samosa, nowhere there is a protein. Protein is just not there. So when protein is not there, on top of that, you have also heard some of the vegan enthusiasts today, कि protein ज़्यादा मत खाओ. So when you will not eat so much of protein, because they are saying your body does not need protein, you will again not eat protein. You will not get Olympic medals then. Either eat protein and get the Olympic medals, or don't eat proteins. It's up to you. If you will eat protein, maybe our performance in many other areas will also start to improve. So it is the protein insecurity which you are talking about, nutritional insecurity. It is not the micronutrient security. It is the macronutrient insecurity that we are talking about, which is needed. And we have to move beyond carbohydrates. We have enough carbohydrates for the next 3 years. We have enough carbohydrates for the whole population. So we were exporting 50% of the world's rice exports. खाने की कमी नहीं है. आपको जो खाना चाहिए वो आप खरीद नहीं रहे हैं. You must buy what your body needs. Next question.
Oh, there's a one question from Amia. Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
This last questions are from Amia. She was waiting, I think. So,
Yes,
come.
Amia.
Good afternoon, sir. So I have a question. So a lot of us at least think about becoming vegan. So at least,
Amia, we can't see you, Amia.
so I'm. So can you see me now?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So as I was saying, a lot of us think about becoming vegan at least for like once a day, small baby steps at a time. So at least one day, and then we'll increase to the entire week or the entire month, right? So a lot of us do think about that, but what stops us is the nostalgia of the texture of meat, how meat feels, right? So or the only substitutes that we have come across till now are like soya and its products like soya chap, keema, soy keema, tempeh, mushrooms, and mock meat. I wanted to know what other ingredients are available that would be a good substitute for the textural element of meat.
It's a very good question, Amia, that you are finding it difficult to leave meat even once a day, right? That means you are already eating twice, correct? So in North India, situation is they are finding it difficult to leave once a week because probably they are eating once every day. So the meat consumption at certain level will start going so much that your body will crave, and you will quit it, and then you will say I will not eat it, and then you will go somewhere near where the meat is being cooked and the entire aroma which will be there, and you will say okay, hell with it, I'm going back to my meat eating. So that's what is called the taste, and that's why the culinary professionals can do something amazing. They can use the same spices to use the texture of soybean. So we import the IP grade soybean from US and other places to ensure that we are able to provide the right kind of texture. So when we will be able to provide the right kind of texture, we will be able to uh, have absolutely same quality of taste as the other one. So it all depends on mimicking the 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 exact taste. It's not just soybean, it's not just pea, it's not just other proteins which come from various other areas, and more novel ingredients can use. From moong, you can make egg, from millets, and from soybean and chickpea, and oats. You can make milk, and there are some other products which you can make uh, um, textured and the right kind of aroma. We try to mimic the exact taste through the aroma as well. There are so many volatile compounds which we mimic, but it's not the exact taste that we achieve. Until the time we do not achieve the exact taste, the meat eaters are not going to fully convert. But for us to reach there, we have to also reach there through clean label and healthy products. We cannot be accused. I remember some of the dairy enthusiasts recently wrote on his social media that ghee is for 400 and dalda is for 800. How unfair! Because dalda is trans fats, right? So it's very, very unfair comment, but it's also challenging. That first of all, you have to the plant-based butter is not the same trans fats which it used to be earlier. It is with the new technology, it's not trans fats. So second, you have to make sure that all the plant-based alternatives not only are cheaper, but are healthier as well as perceived to be healthy. Okay, so thank you so much, Amia. So I want to ask from the people who are there on this channel that anybody wants to make any comment. I have seen some hands are still there. So that means I have taken away the opportunity from Abhay. Now, Abhay, floor is yours. You can still another take 10
Thank you.
more seconds.
Yes. So Amia, I want to through you, I want to ask you to and to others as well, that to look at this particular question is what we will term as responsibility. What is your responsibility towards yourself? Like when you consider your diet, what keeps you engaged in eating meat and meat products and dairy products? The why of this question is very important. So when one asks, why plant-based and why not meat, I would say, scientifically and also, compassionately, ethically, there are a lot of answers that can be given. But the most important is why. Scientifically, when you consider this, plants are, when you talk of a Hindi word or a Urdu word, tasir, plant-based foods, they are more alkaline in nature, and meat products and dairy products, they are more acidic in nature. So when you consider dietary and nutrition toward from a scientific aspect and what is actually meant for the body, we as human beings, we are uninitiated. We are not we are not born in this world knowing everything. For everything we need a school. That is why you are sitting in a classroom. Why is a plant-based course being taught to you? You don't know anything about the plant-based course, right? So why is a very basic question.
Okay.
And that is
Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I will not take much of
Thank
your
you.
time. We need to question
Thank
each
you.
and everything.
Yeah. Thank you, Sumit. Thank you. Chef Sumit, back to you.
No, sir, no more question as such from our side. So these were the few questions they were raising it. I thought let us
So
have
you can
again
now conclude. You can conclude, Sumit.
okay, okay. Right. So first of all, I would like to thank everybody from your panelists. Like at least we have got some ideas about how what the plant-based foods will be. As I'm also teaching for the first time, right? So even I've done some research work for myself to take out some kind of again how these can be inculcated to this future chef who can again at least give us some culinary innovations and give it alternative choices for the those who want to become at least a vegan, or maybe you can talk about the non-dairy products. As for a kind of some of them are still a very lactose tolerant. The people around here so much of lactose tolerant. For them, the non-dairy products are very much suitable for them. So these things can be also inculcated. Again, one of my students who is here, she is going to give the more about the concluding remarks for this one. The vote of thanks from her. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Good evening, sir. Uh, Thank you on behalf of all of us. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of the speakers for sharing their inputs and their knowledge, because I think we all have come across this concept, but in a very vague manner. We've all tried to put ourselves into the system, but we were not successful because a lot of knowledge was unknown to us. Today, we learned a lot of things. We learned about a lot of products, which I hope we're going to come across as culinary aspires. And thank you for everything, sir. For all the speakers, thank you for your knowledge. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. I had heard about WGSHA, that how amazing the institute is and how good training that you provide. Today, I experienced, no doubt, WGSHA is #1 in the country in the hospitality trainings. Thank you, Sumit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And Antavan, thank you so much. So I know you are in 2 different classes, so you can now switch off. And once again, we look forward to meet you in person very soon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all.
Bye. So with this, we can close this webinar. And thank you, audience. Here also, there are still some 10-15 people still left amongst the attendees. So now